Busch said his car is really struggling off the bottom in turn 4.
His visibility of his camera in the car is really dark.
They have got to make something happen. Just come out of here with anything.
Today on the Performance Racing Network, it's qualifying for the Worth 400 from Texas Motor Speedway.
Good morning. Welcome to a beautiful day here in Tarrant County, North Texas, Fort Worth, the site of Texas Motor Speedway, where Group A is rolling out on track right now for a 25-minute practice session. This is the half of the field that does not have the best score on the metric, and of course, when you come off a weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, that's not a hard thing to do, to have a bad weekend. But we've got a lot of good drivers here in this group. Group B will have their 25-minute practice session, then qualifying for the Worth 400. Brad Gilley alongside Mark Garrow. And Mark, yesterday at this time, thunder, rain, lightning in Texas. Today, not a single cloud in the sky, and the sun is shining brightly here on this 1.5-mile speedway.
I believe pilots call this severe clear. No clouds in the sky, nothing but sunshine. And after that thunderstorm yesterday, and you told me that that was nothing compared to what's happened here lately as far as rain is concerned. That was a lot of water yesterday, but they did a great job getting the track ready. We didn't get a chance to practice or qualify for the Craftsman Truck Series, but we did get to run the race, and Corey Heim did a great job coming away with the victory last night.
Yeah, he sure did. It was an exciting race with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Coming up today at 1:30 Eastern Time, we have the Andes Frozen Custard 300 Xfinity race, where practice and qualifying again rained out. As Mark had mentioned, Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier will start on the front row for the race. But right now we have cars on the track. Josh Berry in the Worth car, actually now second quick because A.J. Allmendinger just went to the top of the speed chart. Already they're turning speeds of over 187 miles per hour, Mark.
Last year, the pole speed, though, 190.369, turned in by Kyle Larson. In this group, you talked about it. If you're at Talladega and you're in the bottom half of this deal here this week, it's because you had a problem there. It happens to just about everybody in this group. Such heavy hitters like Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney's in this group, so is Kyle Busch. So, again, problems at Talladega put you in Group A, the first group out here at Texas.
A.J. Allmendinger, the quickest right now, 190.215 miles per hour, followed by the Worth Ford of Josh Berry. Eric Jones making his 300th start this weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's third quick. Christopher Bell, who's already raced this weekend at Texas, over at the dirt track with the High Limit Racing Series on Thursday night. They'll be racing back out there again tonight. He is currently fifth quick because Justin Haley just went a little faster than Bell.
So as we look at the rest of the rundown at this point, Ryan Blaney's run 4 laps, Joey Logano 4 and counting, as we've just opened up this Group 1 practice for the Worth 400. After you get to Bell, who's now falling to number 7 in this group, Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Logano, Ryan Preece, Perps are the next guys in line.
Yeah, and again, they have a 25-minute practice session, and we're only about 3 minutes into that. So they're going to go out there, they're going to make some laps, they'll make whatever adjustments they can. And remember, adjustments are minimal during these practice qualifying sessions. The reason being, these cars have already been inspected, so they are very limited to the things that they're allowed to do to them. Essentially, pit stop adjustments is what they can do to get their car ready to go race 400 miles tomorrow in the Worth 400. But A.J. Allmendinger, what a great story so far this season. The last race that we broadcast was at Bristol Motor Speedway, Mark. 9 cars were on the lead lap. A.J. Allmendinger was one of those. He's had a handful of top 10s already this year. His record at Texas Motor Speedway has been very strong as well. Kaulig Racing has really had a resurgence this year, both on the Xfinity and on the Cup side, and it's really cool to see his car early on in practice still, but up over 190 miles per hour, the quickest on the speedway.
And Allmendinger right now on the bubble when it comes to making the playoff on points. He's got a 6-point advantage over Kyle Busch, and of course they're on the same campus over there in Welcome, North Carolina. But Allmendinger, not only is he in position to make the playoff on points right now, but they're arcing in the right direction. After a little bit of a slow start, I think they're starting to find some of the form they had with AJ when he last ran the Cup Series for Kaulig full-time in 23.
I would completely agree with that. Well, let's go down to Doug Turnbull, one of our 2 pit reporters covering practice and qualifying here today.
And that's correct. And I've got Cole Custer here. Cole, I should talk about racing, but this has got to be a dream weekend. You've got Andy's Frozen Custard you're hawking out here, and also Red Barons on your car. So how are you going to keep the calories down to keep a qualifying trip for yourself?
We're definitely not worried about that, but yeah, it's awesome having Red Baron on the car, Andy's Frozen Custard this weekend also. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully have a solid weekend. We had a solid run at Talladega, got us Group 2 here, so hopefully unload pretty solid and see what we got.
And what kind of things are you watching on the tablet there during this practice? Are there particular drivers you're following?
The biggest thing just seeing where the track is at, where the speed's at. Seems like it's pretty similar to last year on speed. So just figuring out, what the track can take really is the biggest thing.
Sounds good. Well, Cole Custer preparing for Group B practice here in Texas.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. We appreciate that. I was actually with Cole just a short while ago. He and Sam Mayer, the 2 Andy's Frozen Custard drivers here. Of course, Sam Mayer last year in one of the closest finishes in NASCAR history beat Ryan Sieg to the line to win the Andy's Frozen Custard 300. And the Kuntz family said, well, we should just go ahead and sponsor Sam Mayer as well. We'll see if he can defend that. Brett McMillan is our other pit reporter joining us here today. Brett?
Well, as you talk about, Brad, a lot of these guys are just kind of feeling things out. We did have the truck race here last night, but everything else, the practice, the qualifying for the trucks, for Xfinity, all rained out yesterday. So a lot of this right now is the spotters and the drivers kind of looking for lines, seeing what it looks like out there. We're hearing A.J. Allmendinger talking about how his car is starting to bottom out, going through turns 3 and 4, getting tight as the run goes on. 4 laps in, 5 laps in, starting to tighten up just a little bit. So this right now is a feeling out process for these guys who are out here practicing early in this practice session. Remember, this is Group 1, and all the drivers that come out here for Group 2, immediately they walk up to their war wagons and put headsets on. They're all monitoring, watching computers, seeing what's going on the track. Doug Turnbull.
And been listening to Justin Haley's radio. He's 4th quickest here at Group A of practice for the Cup Series. And why am I listening? Well, he's got a new crew chief this week. In a time in the charter system where it's rare to make big changes mid-season, Spire Motorsports during the off week decided to dismiss Rodney Childers there. They mutually agreed to part ways. So I've been listening to what had been the team's competition director, Ryan Sparks, talk to driver Justin Haley. The number 7 machine is 4th in practice right there. The driver's been giving good feedback, and the team talked about a difference in demeanor between Childers, who's very laid back, and Ryan Sparks, who's like a spark plug. And I hear Ryan coaching the driver there, telling him, hey, don't worry about the handling issues. That's typical for Texas. It's going to be okay. Haley says that the car's just a little bit edgy right now.
Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you very much, Brett. Ryan Sparks is not only the crew chief for Justin Haley, but he's also the competition director at Spire Motorsports. Mark, he is so detailed that he gets a fresh haircut every single week. Man always looks good out there at the racetrack.
I was afraid you were going to say every single day for a second there, so as detailed as he is. And Justin Haley, that team, they needed something, not going in the right direction. And I'm sure Rodney Childers will be out of work as long as he wants to be. At some point, he'll be back in this.
Yeah, a 40-race winner, a championship-winning crew chief. Rodney Childers has a lot of talent. Sometimes chemistry just doesn't work out, and that's okay. That's just simply the way things go. You know, one thing we saw last night in the Craftsman Truck Series race, and as I'm looking, Mark, right outside of our window here, we're right above the start-finish line at Texas. There is the center grass section, the center ball field section where the Worth 400 logo is. The Legends car track track is a quarter-mile track that connects the front straightaway and pit road. So on each wing of that, there are other grass sections as well with logos, and that's where the kinks and the dog legs on the front straightaway are. If you look toward turn 4, you can see where some of the trucks cut the grass just a little bit. Last night, turn 1 side of it was very treacherous. Gio Ruggiero put his truck in there, not only destroyed his, but several others. The grass is very soft here, the ground very soft because of all the rain. Talking to Cole Custer and Sam Mayer earlier, I was just joking with them about that, saying, hey, guys, the grass is really wet. Don't go sliding through it, but if you do, it's going to look pretty cool. They both said, I don't know what it is about this track. It's this track and this track only. You can't tell if you're following a car just where that grass is going to come out at you. When we look at it, it looks pretty easy, like, hey, as the track curves, well, you go. But the one thing they're not really doing is turning left and left on the front straightaway. They're making it one big arc, and if they want to duck low before they get into turn 1, they better wait till they hit the peak of that grass.
The biggest surprise driver last night was Gio Ruggiero. When he looked left for a split second, found that he was driving halfway through the grass, destroyed his truck. And then Lane Riggs got put in there by another competitor, and when his truck nose-dived into that soft grass, tore it to pieces as well. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
Ryan Priest coming off a great run at Talladega that ultimately ended up, well, not being such a great run when he was DQ'd at the end of the day. He feels really good about his car right now. Said he finished during this first part of this run, felt really good about it, so the car felt really good. He's being told on the radio that the run was really badass, that he was fast. They asked him if he wanted to make any adjustments, and he goes, well, I don't know. They suggested some adjustments, and he goes, well, the car felt really good, especially the first few laps I was out there. You know, that's one of the things that we've seen over the years, that the shorter practice sessions, I think it's helped a lot of these crews. Because you talk to these crew chiefs over the years, and you guys both know this. When there's long practice sessions, what would happen is they'd start off feeling pretty good, then they'd make some major adjustments, and a lot of times they'd adjust themselves right out of feeling good and couldn't get it right back. So these shorter practice sessions, I think, in a lot of ways, have prevented them from taking big swings, trying things, and getting themselves out of where they were really feeling good into a situation where they couldn't get that back. In this situation, it suggested to Ryan Priest maybe some small adjustments. He said, I feel pretty good the way I am right now, so maybe the shorter practice sessions kept him from trying something that took them out of a feel-good situation.
When Ryan Priest left Talladega last week, he had one simple message he told reporter Lee Spencer: going to Texas to kick their blank. After all that went on at Talladega, the runner-up, the DQ, he just said, I'm going to Texas to kick some blank.
Hey, before his car was disqualified, Ryan Priest was well within playoffs contention. Now he has some ground to make up. Right now, with 13 minutes to go in Group 1 practice, A.J. Allmendinger leads the way. The Worth number 21 of Josh Berry second quick, followed by Eric Jones, Justin Haley, and John Hunter Nemechek.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hi, I'm PRN's Alexis Eric. Want to listen to PRN anywhere you go? By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to live race broadcasts and have on-demand access to your favorite shows like Fast Talk, Pit Reporters, Garage Pass, and PRN's At the Track. Download today to make sure you don't miss any of the action. Get the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app, available on Apple App Store and Google Play. Find more information at goprn.com.
In Las Vegas, pedal to the metal is all we know, on or off the racetrack. Whether you're there for NASCAR, live music, incredible restaurants, or world-class entertainment, Vegas is the town that never slows down. With so many ways to play and so much to explore, Las Vegas encourages you to go all out. Head to visitlasvegas.com for more. From Texas Motor Speedway, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Yates on the inside, Byron in the middle, Chastain up high.
Hamlin now beginning to come to the front. He's got the edge now. He'll take the lead away.
Brian Blaney sliding down into the grass. There was a lot of bumping and grinding, and Blaney noses into the infield retaining wall.
Ross Chastain doing a great job. Truex right there, big in his mirror as they race down the backstretch here. Harrison Burton is spinning down the back straightaway. Everybody going to the top side. Here comes Kyle Larson. Larson dives to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to lead all four.
Chris Buescher has trouble and a spin off of turn 4.
Yeah, we've got a ton of cars that are in this one, and Larson is certainly one of those cars.
Trouble coming out of turn 4. Hamlin is sideways. The car spins down on the apron of the racetrack.
Byron takes that brightly painted number 24 to the front. He gets a big shove from Daniel Suarez.
This is PRN.
And back with Cup Series Group A practice here at Texas Motor Speedway. The cars that have the lesser of the finish, if you will, at Talladega, their metric they use to determine Group A practice, are on the track right now. I've been listening to Shane Van Gisbergen, who's been mired in rookie year and Trackhouse Motorsports-wide struggles. He is 17th out of the 19 drivers that have taken laps. He just told his crew chief, Stephen Duran, that he is loose all over the track. He's already on his second run at this short session here, and they brought the car in, the number 88, to make some adjustments on it. They're out on their second run right now. One thing they told him in the interruption between his two runs in this practice is they were looking at the braking patterns of both Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell, and said that if he trail brakes a little longer, he should be able to fight the condition he has in those turns. One advantage, guys, of having some of the top drivers in your practice session is you get to look at what they're doing and what they're fighting, and that could help you fight your problems too.
Shane Van Gisbergen, a rough rookie season here on the Cup Series. He does have the top 10, the 6th place finish at COTA. After that, 9 finishes 20th or worse, 6 of those 31st or worse. It has been a steep learning curve for SVG.
Yeah, it has been a struggle. I'm sure he can't wait for Mexico City coming up next month to get back on a road course, and a road course where everyone is going to be on equal ground. But one thing Doug Turnbull was talking about really is essential for a lot of these teams. For example, if you're last week's Talladega winner, Austin Cindric, he's in group number 2. He has the advantage in group number 1 to watch teammates Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Josh Berry with Wood Brothers Racing. To the point of Shane Van Gisbergen, Ross Chastain had a great run at Talladega Superspeedway. Daniel Suarez as well. They have the advantage of being able to see what's happening with Shane Van Gisbergen's car, to be able to get that feedback. So when they go on the racetrack for the first time, they're somewhat educated. Everyone here in Group 1, they have no idea what's going on this racetrack other than to see what happened last year in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race, which went a few laps over the 250-mile distance.
So right now, the best 5-lap average belongs to A.J. Allmendinger. Ryan Blaney, the best 10-lap. The best 15-lap belongs to Chris Buescher.
Interesting that there's a bit of a spread. Typically, someone who has the best 10 is going to have the best 15. But, of course, Ryan Blaney so far out here on the racetrack, well, he's made 21 laps, so he's had an opportunity to make all 15. But we're seeing cars come in, getting those adjustments, going back out. We have 7 minutes and 50 seconds left here in Group 1 practice for the NASCAR Cup Series. Christopher Bell comes across the start-finish line this weekend, both here on the Superspeedway and Thursday night over at the dirt track. Interstate Batteries Green for Christopher Bell. Great-looking race car, definitely one we won't miss on the racetrack, and a wonderful company based here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
It certainly jumps off the racetrack, no doubt about that. And I need to mention right now that Josh Berry has run the most laps in this first practice, 33. Brad Keselowski, 30 laps in running, and then Todd Gilliland, at 28, has as next in line in as far as laps are run is concerned. The best overall average belongs to A.J. Allmendinger, who has run the best lap.
Go down to Doug Turnbull.
And toward the back of the grid here, Ty Dillon has just been talking to his crew chief Andrew Dickinson there with Colleague Racing. And really, with the picture I want to paint is not specifically what's up with him. Everybody's dealing with their little handling challenges. He's only 15th here in this Group A session. But Ty Dillon said once he passed the 66 car, the Garage 66 machine at Chad Fincham. The car immediately, the handling immediately went away, and his crew chief and spotter told him, yes, that's because dirty air. And that also affects the reads you get on these race cars. If you get clean racetrack, man, it feels pretty good. As soon as you get in the wake of another vehicle, it can mess up your balance. Of course, it's not just these few cars that'll be on the track tomorrow. It'll be 36 of these bad boys. We'll see if Ty Dillon can get it dialed in.
So A.J. Allmendinger right now, his fastest lap, 190.215, just a tick slower, again, than the pole-winning speed a year ago from Kyle Larson at 193.69. So despite the bright sunshine and very warm track temperatures, good lap for A.J. Allmendinger.
Yeah, great lap. We have an interesting combination here. We've got a very warm racetrack because the Texas sun is shining brightly on it, but we have cool temperatures. It's 61 degrees here right now, so the ambient temperature, which gives a little bit of extra energy and horsepower to these engines, is a little bit low, but the track temperature, well, that's where the Goodyear tires are trying to stick. The track temperature obviously high with the sun shining on it. Mark, a driver I want to talk about, Brad Keselowski, has just had a comedy of errors this year. Last week at Talladega Superspeedway, got caught in that incident as he and Kyle Busch were coming onto pit road with a large group of cars. Everyone wasn't straight yet. The way Kyle described it, he was used to people being straight when they started braking, and he just simply got into the back of Keselowski, and then Ryan Blaney came through trying to avoid it, clipped Keselowski. Both of those drivers exited early. But if Keselowski's going to have some redemption, it could absolutely happen here. Starting back in 2020 for Brad, 9th, 6th, 4th, 8th, 7th, and 2nd. And those last three, 8th, 7th, and a runner-up, all in the next-gen car. Keselowski has been fantastic. The one thing he has not done here at this track ever is drive into victory lane, and boy, what a weekend that would be for him to do that.
And a runner-up a couple of times, just one more step for Mr. Keselowski. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
Chris Buescher looking for something positive to happen, and this would be a great place for it to happen for him. Right now he says that he can use a little more rear brake, especially in turns 1 and 2. He's happy with it, but can use a little bit there. 3 and 4, he said, really, really happy with 3 and 4 right now. Remember, Texas Motor Speedway, very different in turns 1 and 2, a little flatter than it is in 3 and 4.
Yeah, to Brett's point, 20 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2. The last time they resurfaced this racetrack, they reconfigured the south end of the speedway. It used to be 24 degrees of banking on both sides. With that reconfiguration and dropping the banking, the track is actually wider in turns 1 and 2. And if you look at the hash marks on Texas Motor Speedway's racing surface that are painted, it's wider literally by the width of a full lane down there at the bottom of the racetrack. You can kind of take it even shorter way around. Now in turns 3 and 4, still the same 24 degrees of banking that we had when the track was first built in 1997. And the teams will tell you, you need to be set up for 1 and 2 because you can flat-foot it in 3 and 4. And if you do not get a good exit off of turn number 2, that's going to affect you all the way back around past the start-finish line.
1 and 2 may be wide, but there's only one piece of racetrack they really want. They arc it in and stay right down glued to the white line. You don't really see a whole lot of racing side by side there, and you certainly only have about 2 lanes. You go up any higher than that, you're kind of treading in places that could be kind of treacherous.
Yeah, this track has widened out since it was last repaved, and it's been a while since we've seen it. The track surface is very, very gray. And the other thing we've seen here is a lot of attrition. You go back over the last 4 races, you talk about competitive racing, 23 lead changes, 16 cautions in a 400-mile race. 2023, we had 11 cautions. 22, we had 16. 2021, we had 11. This has been a very active, very action-packed race with double-digit lead changes in 3 of the past 4 seasons here at Texas. So they'll widen this track out on both ends of the racetrack for sure. But the point is that Mark was making, once they start doing that, it becomes a little bit sketchy.
We saw that last night in the truck race as we went to overtime in that event. A lot of crashes. And, of course, you know, I'll admit it, I want to see some crashes in a race. I want to see yellow flags because bunches up the field, and that creates even more action. And we certainly saw a lot of that last night. Let's go back down to Doug Turnbull.
All right, so Ryan Blaney sits 8th in practice. His teammate Joey Logano in 12th. Now, I mentioned on my last report how Ty Dillon, when he got in the dirty air, the handling all went away. Joey Logano just complained about not being able to pass somebody on the racetrack, and his team just told him, and crew chief Paul Wolf said that his teammate Ryan Blaney literally was 3/10 faster than another car and had to ride behind him for 8 laps. So keeping these drivers calm while they're trying to get feedback is just another thing that the crew chiefs have to play with, variables here on Texas Motor Speedway, which has that razor edge of a blade of a groove.
Watching Kyle Busch on the racetrack, a new sponsor, 7-Eleven, and those colors jump. It takes a little bit of getting used to. That's Kyle Busch in that car, but that's another car with a paint scheme that really jumps off the racetrack.
Yeah, we can remember another Kyle having run a 7-Eleven paint scheme for a while, and that would be Kyle Petty. We talk about how far that dates back, and for race fans here in Texas, they were used to seeing 7-Eleven. But on the IndyCar side of things, Tony Kanaan ran a 7-Eleven car for many, many years. Another Dallas-Fort Worth-based company. They're actually inside Loop 635 on the north end of Dallas, and their world headquarters is right here in this area. So it's great to see when you have a national event like this. You have a lot of big companies who are based here in the Fort Worth, Dallas area, and to see them out here sponsoring race cars this weekend is awesome.
So again, we are still in the first practice session. It is getting very close to ending, and it looks like our NASCAR starter has grabbed a red and black flag. So very shortly we're going to end this first practice. Again, A.J. Allmendinger, the quickest lap so far, followed by Josh Berry, then Eric Jones, Justin Haley, and John Hunter Nemechek. That is our top 5, as we still have a few cars circulating around this 1.5-mile track as Joey Logano flashes by yet again. Logano has run the most laps in this practice, 37.
All right, clicking off now the last 5 seconds of Group 1 practice here. Group 2 will go out shortly for a 25-minute session. Then we'll line them up to go qualify. Single car, single lap qualifying coming up here at Texas, and the red and black flags are out, signifying the end of Group 1 practice. No change at the top. A.J. Allmendinger, the Worth number 21 of Josh Berry, Eric Jones, Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek, your top 5 in Group 1.
Fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
The speed, the drama, the only NASCAR race in California. The Toyota Save Mart 350 NASCAR weekend rolls into Sonoma Raceway July 11th through 13th. 3 days of high-speed thrills, edge-of-your-seat action, and family fun in the heart of wine country. Bring the whole family. Kids tickets start at just $10. Don't miss NASCAR's biggest stars battling for victory. Get your tickets now at SonomaRaceway.com. This is NASCAR. This is California. This is Sonoma.
When you're at the racetrack, you can feel like you're in the driver's seat and never miss a second of the race action with Racing Electronics. Listen in on uncensored audio from every team in the race. See them in the vendor area to purchase yours today or learn more at racingelectronics.com. Group 2 practice coming up here at Texas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Cup Series. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
NASCAR memory with Doug Rice and Kyle Petty.
One of the most iconic moments in the history of the sport. Your dad and David Pearson racing for the win at Daytona 76.
I learned more from my dad in that moment than probably all the years of being his son before that. Ran that race, comes down to the last lap. Pearson passes Petty. Petty passes Pearson. My dad passes him going into turn 3, sweeps up in front of him. They kind of cross over. They get together coming out of turn 4. Even though they're running 180, 90, 200 miles an hour, it's the most slow motion wreck in the history of time. As you watch my dad spin and spin down into the grass, you watch Pearson's car with the front end just caved in come to a stop. And we all leave pit road and run out to the grass. You can see it's myself, it's Barry Dodson, it's Wade Thornburg, it's Dale Inman. We run out and we push the car across the line. We didn't know that if you help the car across the line on the last lap, you're penalized a lap. So if you go back and look at that, my dad finished 1 lap down in the Daytona 500 that year.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. Group 1 practice complete. Group 2 coming up. We were talking earlier about Shane Van Gisbergen. Looks like he scratched the wall coming off of turn 2. It's pretty treacherous, actually, coming off the 20 degrees of banking. A lot of drivers say the track feels like it just falls away from underneath you, and he went just a little bit too wide. Let's go down to Brett McMillan.
Here with Josh Berry, second fastest in this practice session. How would you rate how the car felt in this session?
Honestly, I felt good. Obviously fired off really well. Kind of struggled for a couple laps, just kind of getting acclimated, figuring out how much I needed to drive it into one, everything I needed to do there, and then kind of settled in a decent rhythm there. But honestly, I feel like we're really close. Obviously, we had a lot of speed at Las Vegas, and I think that so far has kind of translated to what we have this weekend. And just want to go out here and give Worth a good run, having the Worth 400. I'd love to see this car in victory lane tomorrow.
How difficult is it to find that balance between feeling good in 1 and 2 and good in 3 and 4?
Well, I think 1 and 2 is, really 1 and 2 sets up 3 and 4 so much, right? Like you need to be strong at both ends, but I think you really need to be strong through and on the exit of turn 2 because it just seems to carry you all the way around 2, 3, and 4. So it seems like if you're faster in 2, you can afford to give up a little bit more in 3 and 4 and still have good pace. So overall, I felt pretty comfortable out there. Like I said, we're just kind of talking about what direction we need to go for tomorrow, what we think the track will do. But overall, these guys on the 21 car did a really good job, and we have another fast forward Dark Horse Mustang.
Finally, having that win in your pocket, does it give you kind of license to maybe take a chance on something?
Well, I think probably in a way. We even look at this race last year. There was a lot of strategy going on, a lot of different strategy. That opens up the door for us to, whether it's go for a stage win or just try to set ourselves up for the best we can to win the race. And I think strategies will be all over the place tomorrow, and we just got to do our best to stay on top of that. But so far, so good.
All right, thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
That's Josh Berry, second fastest in this practice session. Let's go over to Doug Turnbull.
And one spot ahead in that session, Group A, is A.J. Allmendinger there. Had a fast look there in that leaf filter machine. Was it just fast on the short run, A.J., or did you feel good in all progressions of that practice?
Our car's got a good balance in it. I think we can continually make small adjustments in the long run to make it a little bit better. But this track will change a lot, too, so I think it's more guessing on, okay, as it gets warmer, what direction, what's the balance going to be. But it's got one lap speed for sure, and I thought on the long run it had good pace, and I think we can make it a little bit better. But, yeah, this place is fast, so trying to nail this for one lap is going to be interesting.
And what was it like in traffic out there, too?
It wasn't bad. Like, you still get, at this high rate of speed, you still get that dirty air, and you get a little bit just tight behind cars. But honestly, it wasn't extreme, and that was good. So, but we can always make it better. But hopefully, we can go out there and have a good qualifying run and start up front. Like always, track position is going to be critical. I feel like this race also, because the tires hold on just good enough, you can do a lot of strategy with it. So it'll be a long day tomorrow, but good start to it at least.
We'll be watching what the strategy is here for A.J. Allmendinger.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Fastest so far on the Speedway, the only driver up over 190 miles per hour. When we come back, Group 2, the second half of the Cup field, will have a 25-minute practice session here at Texas Motor Speedway.
We work hard to keep our cars looking great on the outside, but engine components need our attention too. That's where you can trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant to disperse carbon buildup in your engine and fuel system. To keep your car or truck running at its peak. By soaking into the metal of your engine, Z-Max Micro Lubricant improves performance, extends engine life, and reduces emissions. Trust the many customers who've said, "Thanks for saving my engine." Find out more at zmax.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hi, this is PRN's Brett McMillan. You don't spend your life just sitting around, so what you need is PRN's mobile app. By downloading the mobile app, you can listen to our live race broadcast from anywhere. Make sure you don't miss a second of the action from the track. If you download it today, you get station listening and on-demand access to your favorite studio shows like Fast Talk, Pit Reporters, or Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app. Download today. Available at the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
From Texas Motor Speedway, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
It's hard to believe in this day and age in the United States of America that children are hungry.
Our time on this planet is short. We have to give back to those in need.
Every child has a chance, no matter what obstacles they may encounter.
Never have we been taxed more as a society to help kids the way we are right now.
At Speedway Children's Charities, our mission is simple. Help every child we can.
Because all children
deserve joy
and hope
and love.
I'm PRN's Doug Turnbull, co-host of the 5 to Go podcast, a weekly deep dive into 5 motorsports issues. Devin Kupka gives the Gen Z view.
One thing that I've never seen before, when the cars got 4 wide, everybody stood up cheering.
And championship-winning mechanic Dan Elliott leans on his decades in the garage and promoting.
Unless everybody is aware of the rules, then no, it's not fair for everyone.
Listen to the 5 to Go podcast on GoPRN.com and subscribe on Apple and Spotify.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. We're about to have Group 2 practice for the NASCAR Cup Series as we get set for the Worth 400. That'll be followed by qualifying. Mark, one interesting thing to note that's not often talked about. You look at Group 1 and you think they've gone out there for a practice session for 25 minutes. Well, Group 2 is going to be out there for 25 minutes before qualifying starts. You got plenty of time to adjust on your car. Guess what? You don't. The way NASCAR levels the playing field is they give Group 1 10 minutes to work on their car after their practice session, and that's it. Because that's all Group 2 is going to get after their practice session when qualifying starts. 10 minutes to make adjustments on your car, and then you sit. Let's go down to Doug Turnbull.
All right, standing here with Shane Van Gisbergen, who's watching the data that you can watch with the ghost cars versus your car there. And that was an eventful session, right, Shane? It looks like maybe a piece of the wall got there.
I didn't hear the last bit.
Did you clip the wall there in that session, I think?
Oh, only a little bit, but that's all right. But what a cool track, so fast. My speed was not too good firing off, but we got better and better and came in for a few changes. I think we made the safety culture of Chevy a bit better, so see how we qualify.
I think you made 3 runs in there. That's pretty tough to do that in a short time.
Yeah, we weren't real good on landing into the corners. As soon as I landed, it just wanted to spin out, so too much balance change on and off throttle, and hopefully we make that better.
He's hoping for something better in qualifying. Shane Van Gisbergen and Brett McMillan.
Asking about the adjustments.
Brett McMillan.
Here with Ryan Preece. And Ryan, we were talking about, I heard they talking to you about some minor adjustments. You went, no, I think we're pretty good. We talked about in the past how guys used to take big swings during practice, kind of adjusting yourself out. You felt pretty good about your car, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt really good about this Sara Lee Kraft grilled cheese machine, you know.
By the way, I'm standing here looking at this grilled cheese on the side of your car. I'm getting hungry.
You know, it's funny because when I went into the shop earlier this week, I felt the same, and I went and bought some bread and some cheese from Kroger, and I made some grilled cheeses myself. But, yeah, no, just talking about the balance of the car and all those things, I felt really good about it. And I was saying to Brad and Derek that my commitment level for the first 2-3 laps isn't going to be where it's going to be in qualifying, just because I don't want to put us in a detriment having to bring a backup out or do anything like that. So feel really good about our RFK Ford Mustang, and we'll keep digging.
After that great run you had last week and then the DQ after that, how difficult is it for you to move your mind, just put that in the past and look straight ahead?
When you have a solid piece like we do this weekend, it makes it pretty easy. But, man, we have a great group of guys, and we're just going to keep pulling that rope and going in the right direction. We won't even be worried about it.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
That's Ryan Preece. Good in the first session, and now session 2 underway.
Second group is on the racetrack, and all 4 of the Hendrick Chevrolets with the first 4 out. William Byron, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, they all blasted off pit road together and were the first 4 to hit the track.
Yeah, with William Byron being the points leader right now, that means that Hendrick Motorsports gets the first 4 spots toward the exit of pit road. And, of course, all of them in a great spot when it comes to the point standings. Kyle Larson right now running in second in the standings. Chase Elliott running in fourth. Alex Bowman's had a hiccup or two. He's on the backside of the top 10, but he's still well within playoffs contention right now.
So others in this group include Todd Gilliland, Cole Custer, Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin in this group, along with his teammate Chase Briscoe, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Michael McDowell, Noah Gregson. Also in this group, Tyler Reddick, Carson Hocevar, and Bubba Wallace. and Austin Cindric, our winner last week from Talladega.
Well, speaking of Tyler Reddick, former winner here at Texas, he's already moved up to third quick. Micah McDowell now jumps up to second quick. Carson Hocevar goes to the top. He ran last night's Truck Series race. We're going to see a lot of action on the scoreboard early. These are the freshest their tires are going to be for this practice session. But Carson Hocevar tops 190.894 miles per hour. Pretty fast for that Spire Motorsports number 77.
Very quick, faster than the pole speed a year ago from Kyle Larson. And since we've had the next-gen car here, we started out at 188.9, went to 190.3 a year ago with Kyle Larson.
Very impressive. Noah Gragson jumps up to third quick overall, second in the session. Kyle Larson, fourth quick. He's in the session. Michael McDowell, fifth quick. Alex Bowman, seventh quick. Tyler Reddick, eighth quick. These cars are getting out there, and they're getting after it already early on here in this race. Ross Chastain just crossed the start-finish line. He's got to pick up a little bit of speed. Right now, he's 28th overall. Has a special black and purple Tootsie's Orchid Lounge paint scheme. Of course, we're going to be in Nashville Superspeedway for the Cracker Barrel 400 coming up on June 1st. And Tootsie's Orchid Lounge right there on Broadway in downtown Nashville. Ross will join us coming up here in a couple hours for our broadcast of the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 NASCAR Xfinity race.
It's been a little bit of difficulty throughout the year in qualifying for Ross Chastain. Not normally one of his strong suits, but they've struggled even more this year. His average starting position, 22.8. He will surely want to do better than that here later on today.
Yeah, and truthfully, poor qualifying last year is what kept him out of the playoffs. And what I mean by that is as we go through these races, we run them in three separate stages. At the end of stage 1 and stage 2, you have an opportunity to get 10 points maximum extra for the race in each stage. Because their qualifying was poor, they weren't collecting stage points throughout the year. They came up short of making the playoffs on points. They did win a race, but that happened at Kansas after the playoffs have started. But they've been able to drive through the field and finish well. There is at least a little bit of redeeming quality right there in what they're doing. They just need to be fast on Saturday like they are on Sunday.
And a year ago, taking a look at some of my stats, our top 10 qualifiers, I mentioned Kyle Larson won the pole position. The rest of the top 10 were Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Cindric, Truex, and Bubba Wallace. And so we had 5 Toyotas, 3 Fords, 2 Chevys making up the top 10 in qualifying a year ago, as we now see Ross Chastain coming back onto pit road, being backed into his pit stall.
Yeah, they definitely need a little bit of work on that Chevrolet, and we'll see how they get that done. But again, Carson Hocevar, last night, I think this was one of the things we talked about. Some invaluable seat time. He won his first ever NASCAR race in the Truck Series here 2 years ago in 2023. And think about where his career has gone since then. He's now in his sophomore season as a Cup Series driver, and right now the fastest on the speedway. Let's go down to Doug Turnbull.
Now, on the other end of the chart there, about a 28th in the combined practice time. Ross Chastain there said the good news is that even though he's slow, the front end is not hitting the racetrack, but he's having trouble turning the wheel in certain spots. He's having trouble getting over the bumps in some other spots, and overall loose condition as well. So all sorts of conditions there that Bill Surgeon and the one team are going to have to throw at that Tootsie Chevrolet. They're making an adjustment right now, and it looks like preparing to go back to take another stab at it.
Austin Dillon now bringing his car back onto the pit lane after running a number of laps, and is about to back again into his pit stall. Also, Todd Gilliland is going to bring his car onto the pit lane as well. Chase Elliott flashing by, Hocevar, Bowman, Noah Gragson, Denny Hamlin. That Progressive Insurance car really jumps off the racetrack, that blue here in the daylight.
Yeah, that's a great-looking car, actually, with the Progressive sponsorship, something they picked up this year, and basically that is his new identity. Progressive's going to run for about half of the races this season, which is a great thing for them. They started the season without having that anchor sponsor, and now they have it in Progressive. A great-looking race car as well. Hamlin, a 3-time winner here at Texas Motor Speedway, definitely would like to make a third trip to victory lane in 2025, as he's already picked up a couple of victories so far this season, and that team has been very strong. Let's go down to Brett McMillan.
Austin Dillon, a former winner here at Texas, Brad. He said he started off really good in this practice session, but then he started getting loose. Loose into turn 1, loose into turn 3. Crew said, bring it on down here. We'll make some adjustments. We've got to give you the confidence to be able to drive it in hard into each of those turns.
Thank you very much, Brett McMillan. A great-looking car for Austin Dillon. Bass Pro Shops and Winchester. Winchester on the side of the car. Actually, just got the sales email today that big sale on hunting gear at Bass Pro Shops.
It is that time of year.
That it is, for sure, that time of year. So Carson Hocevar, the fastest here in group number 2. Noah Gragson, third overall, but he is second quick. Last year's winner, Chase Elliott, 23rd overall on the track right now, has a special gold Napa 100th anniversary paint scheme on his car, similar to what Daniel Hemrick had last night with his runner-up finish in the Craftsman Truck Series race. But Chase Elliott needs another trip to Victory Lane, Mark. This is the place where he did it last year, and it's been over a year because last year we ran this race a month earlier. 37
races since that victory. And if you take a little bit of a deeper dive into his stats, after winning 5 times in 2022, he's won once in the last 75 races, and that was here at Texas. So, yeah, he could stand getting back to Victory Lane. However, they ran really strong at the end of last season, and when you look at his stats this year, he's pretty solid. That's why he's way up there in the point standings. It just hasn't been enough to go to Victory Lane.
No, they've been wildly consistent. The one place where they've been deficient when it comes to the stats, leading laps. That's the one place where they've struggled. They're 4th in the point standings right now, but leading laps has been a struggle. Their teammate Alex Bowman, he's been strong. 7 straight top 10 finishes on 1.5-mile tracks. He's another driver who could use a trip to Victory Lane once again. He's been very strong out there in a lot of these races, but he needs that win. That's one of the things that they need to knock out. We've already seen William Byron in Victory Lane. We've seen Kyle Larson with a couple of wins for Hendrick. And even though both Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman are well within playoffs contention today, we still have 16 races to go before the postseason starts, and who knows who could go to Victory Lane and push that cut line up.
You talk about laps led. Kyle Larson has led 506, number 1 in that category. William Byron, 364. He is ranked number 2. Alex Bowman at 107. He is ranked 9th in that category so far this season. Then you go all the way down. Chase Elliott, 45. So absolutely has not led the laps that he needs to lead. And when you look at Larson and Byron, they've led all those laps. They've also cashed in by going to Victory Lane as well.
Yeah, and you're right. They've turned that around in a good way. 15 minutes to go here in group number 2. After that, we get everything reset. They line the cars up. They'll go out for single car, single lap qualifying. And while we have them divided into group 1 and group 2, that's just for the purposes of separating them in practice. We'll still talk about group 1 and group 2 in qualifying, but what group they're in has no bearing on where they start the race other than the fact that we will line up the fastest car overall to the slowest car overall, and that's how the 38 cars are going to be lined up here today at Texas Motor Speedway, and how they will ultimately line up tomorrow for the Worth 400 will be determined here in about an hour, Mark.
You know, we make a big deal about qualifying, and this is the 45th Cup race here at Texas Motor Speedway. We've had 24 different pole winners, but out of those 44 races, the pole winners won only 5 times.
I didn't even think it was that much.
So we make it a big deal, yet, again, the last time this race won from the pole was Kyle Larson, fall of 2021. So we make a big deal about it, but the pole sitter doesn't seem to have the best of luck here at Texas.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go down to Brett McMillan.
Well, we talked about Austin Dillon earlier, saying it was loose going into turn 1, loose going into turn 3. Interesting conversation after that. They said, bring it on in here. We're going to tighten you up so you're better in dirty air. He goes, no. You don't understand. The dirty air helps my car, making me more loose. I don't think I've ever heard dirty air helping my car before. Doug Turnbull.
On the inverse, okay, Chase Elliott, who's only 23rd quick. We were just talking about the year-plus winless streak for him, this being the track that he last won. Chase Elliott just told the team that he does not have enough response in the front nose, meaning when he puts wheel into it, the nose doesn't turn the direction he wants. And then he said, especially in traffic. Traffic a lot of times tightens up these race cars. He also said that the back end of the race car is choppy, meaning it not gripping the track, bouncing around a little bit. So the number 9 team with that gold Napa 100-year scheme is going to have to make some more adjustments here to get 23rd place Chase Elliott forward of where he wants to be.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Thank you, Brett McMillan. The hood up on that race car right now. That would mean, Mark, that they're working on the front shocks of that Napa 100th anniversary car of Chase Elliott.
And his teammate William Byron has just brought his car back in. They popped the top on it, maybe making a few adjustments for William Byron. Again, I think he's one of the most underrated race car drivers that we have in NASCAR. When you talk about the top five, a lot of people don't put William there, but you look at the stats, man, they don't lie. They don't lie.
Yeah, 2 consecutive Championship 4 appearances, Daytona 500 winner. He's been leading the points pretty much all season long and is a threat pretty much everywhere you go. I mean, William Byron is absolutely the complete package when it comes to a NASCAR driver, and he's had great success here at Texas Motor Speedway, no matter what he's driven, whether it's been the Craftsman Truck Series, where his second career victory happened right here at Texas, to the NASCAR Cup Series, and, of course, an Xfinity Series strong run. Again, William Byron is literally the complete package, not just here at Texas, but everywhere, Mark.
Absolutely. And, again, I think he is going to become bigger and bigger in this sport, but right now just don't seem to feel he gets the respect that he should, given the numbers that he puts up. You know, we're talking about Hendrick Motorsports. One of the things that kind of surprises me when you look at the 4 drivers they have now, only one of them is a former pole winner here at Texas Motor Speedway. We talked about Kyle Larson. He is one of 6 drivers out here today that have captured pole positions on this 1.5-mile track. Brad Keselowski has done it twice. Blaney, Dillon, Busch, Bubba Wallace, Larson, they have done it one apiece.
Very interesting. And to your point, in 45 races here, it's a very low percentage. And you can win from anywhere. I remember one year, Mark, I think Matt Kenseth, if he's one of those pole winners, he ended up having to start at the back that day and still drove into victory lane. 400 miles is a long way. We run most of those 45 races here as 500 milers at Texas. 400 miles, just a perfect distance, I feel, here. And like we were talking earlier, 23 lead changes and 16 cautions last year. This was a highly action-packed race. This is the reason why you're going to see pretty much every seat full here tomorrow as well.
And if the weather stays the same, nice and warm, again, makes this track a little bit trickier, a little more treacherous, and that, of course, could lead to some yellow flags as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens. Noah Gragson just crossed the start-finish line here. He is running 3rd quick overall, has had a very strong car. Carson hosts of our leads. He is in Group 2. A.J. Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, Kyle Larson, Michael McDowell, your top 5.
Joey Logano here for Hunt Brothers Pizza, where you can choose from 10 toppings, all at no extra charge. In a hurry? Call ahead to place your order or grab a hunk of pizza on the go. Follow me on the track all season long and visit huntbrotherspizza.com to find your next pizza.
By downloading the free PRN mobile app, you can listen to all of our live race broadcasts anywhere. You'll also have easy access to all of our award-winning studio shows. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app.
Drivers, start your engine!
Atlanta Motor Speedway is built for battles, high speeds, tight packs, dramatic finishes.
Crossover move! They're 3 wide for the lead!
But you've never seen Atlanta Motor Speedway like this, under the lights, where every moment feels bigger. Experience the Quaker State 400, available at Walmart Saturday, June 28th. Under the lights in Atlanta. Get your tickets now at atlantamotorspeedway.com.
With practicing Group 2 continuing and qualifying set to come up in just a bit, you're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Our planet is home to some of the most amazing creatures you could ever imagine, from the biggest bears to the smallest birds and everything in between. If we want our kids and their kids to experience the magic of wildlife that we have today, it's on us to step it up and take action. You can make a difference. Learn more about wildlife conservation in your area and how you can help. This is Eli Wenders. Let's make sure our wildlife is around for generations to come. Y'all take care of the earth and it'll take care of us. This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
The speed, the drama, the only NASCAR race in California. The Toyota Save Mart 350 NASCAR weekend rolls into Sonoma Raceway July 11th through 13th. 3 days of high-speed thrills, edge-of-your-seat action, and family fun in the heart of wine country. Bring the whole family. Kids tickets start at just $10. Don't miss NASCAR's biggest stars battling for victory. Get your tickets now at SonomaRaceway.com. This is NASCAR. This is California. This is Sonoma.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. 7.5 minutes left for Group 2 practice here at Texas. Carson Hocevar continues to lead the way. We have 3 drivers who have topped 190 miles per hour. Carson Hocevar at 190.894. A.J. Allmendinger, 190.215. And look at Noah Gregson's speed, Mark.
190.000 to the dot.
I think that's always kind of cool. Occasionally you'll see here, and that .000, we go from tenths to 100ths to thousandths on the timer. It's actually not uncommon, although still a bit rare, to see drivers in qualifying hit the exact same lap time and the same speed. There's something just kind of cool about him making a lap at exactly 190 miles per hour.
It always blows me away when you see 2 guys run a qualifying lap or a practice lap or a lap in the race, exactly down to the thousandth of a second. And NASCAR has a way to even go deeper than that if they have to. And I did notice last night that NASCAR, when they took a look at their start-finish line, it was off by just a little bit. So they had a laser out there, and they were tweaking the start-finish line to make it a little bit straighter. They don't miss a trick.
No, and they shouldn't. Look, we had that race at Kansas Speedway where the painting on the line wasn't exactly coloring within the lines, and it looked like Chris Buescher won, but it was actually Kyle Larson because of the way the paint was. You go to every track right now, these things are just laser straight. And the start-finish line has a bit of a redesign here at Texas Motor Speedway. The turn 1 side of the start-finish line is a checkered flag, 2 rows of that with Texas on it. But the turn 4 side, kind of a waving Texas flag, a little artistic representation of what a Texas flag looks like. I think that's kind of a cool thing. I like it when you see tracks kind of having their own identity with different things like that.
It's a nice personal touch. And, of course, the race fans will go down there tomorrow and scribble their names all over it. There'll be thousands of signatures on that before the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, that is going to be really cool. 5 minutes left here in Group 2 practice at Texas, and they're getting ready for qualifying for tomorrow's Worth 400. PRN will be on the air 2:30 Eastern time tomorrow. A great pre-race show lined up for you, as well as a great race coming up here at 1:30 Eastern time today. The NASCAR Xfinity Series Andy's Frozen Custard 300. Ross Chastain will come join us up here in the booth, and it's been great to have him. We have him for about 10 races this year between Xfinity and NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series races, and it's just awesome of him to give his time, come up here, hang out with us, broadcast the race, and really educate the race fan and all of us about things that are happening on the racetrack.
He is great at coaching us along, and I also think, letting himself have a bird's eye view, he actually picks up some stuff for the race as well, for himself.
Yeah. I'm feeling like that Bristol weekend helped him a lot in the Truck Series race as well. So
you watch Kyle Larson long enough, lap after lap after lap, you're going to pick up something.
Yeah, that is very true. Chastain back on pit road. They've got 4 minutes to make some adjustments and maybe go out and get another run here, or just start working on their car. Remember, once this session is over, NASCAR will give these teams 10 minutes to make adjustments before qualifying starts. The Group 1 cars that already went out, they're not constantly working on their cars here during this Group 2 session. They had 10 minutes after their session to work on the cars, and now they're all sitting still before they push them out for qualifying after this practice session. That holds true with Group number 2 as well. Once this session is over, they're on a 10-minute clock to make any adjustments that they can within what NASCAR allows, because, again, these cars have already been inspected for the race. 10 minutes to make those adjustments before they go out and qualify. Once that happens, the covers go on them, and the next time they will hit the racetrack will be when we drop the green flag for tomorrow's Worth 400.
So here is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He backs off the gas as he comes out of turn number 4. kind of like coasting along here the front straightaway. Just noticed they've made some adjustments to Chase Elliott's car. He has gone back out onto the racetrack. Same thing for Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. Hocevar now coming off the pit lane as well.
Yeah, Kyle Larson out on the racetrack. He'll be out on the dirt track tonight. Last night he ran in the truck, or I'm sorry, this afternoon rather. He'll run in the Xfinity race. He is subbing for Connor Zilic, who had a back injury in that just horrific-looking last lap crash at Talladega. So Zilic sitting out this week. He already has a playoffs waiver from NASCAR. Kyle Larson in that car. Then tonight he'll head over to the dirt track for the High Limit Racing Series. They raced on Thursday night. They will race again tonight. You'll see Kyle Larson out there. You'll see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. You'll see Ty Gibbs out there. Casey Kane runs the High Limit Sprint Car Series as well. These are winged 410 sprint cars. Casey Kane will also join us here at Texas Motor Speedway tomorrow as the pace car driver after coming off of what really was sort of an up-and-down day at Rockingham Speedway and his NASCAR return 2 weeks ago at Rockingham.
It was great to see him back in a stock car at Rockingham, and the whole race weekend at Rockingham was great. I certainly enjoyed myself when I went down there. I love the drive as you kind of go cross-country down through Asheboro, North Carolina, to make your way down through Ellerbe and Rockingham. So it was a great drive. Track was in great shape. The folks there at the track did a great job putting on the race. And the race fans, man, it was packed. They had a great time. And it was great to talk to those folks who thought, you know what, I never thought we'd see another race at Rockingham, and here we are. And they put on great shows. They really did. The trucks in Xfinity. I know there's been a lot of talk about, hey, maybe the Cup Series going back there. But, man, as a standalone event on Easter, it really shined. It really did.
I would like that to just kind of hold its place. And what a great thing for Richmond County, North Carolina, for Rockingham. We spent a lot of time this week here at Texas talking about really what a great impact that a big NASCAR weekend has on a community. And for the folks in Fort Worth, they see the benefit from the restaurants to the hotels to the local businesses and all of that. Plus for Fort Worth itself, just the exposure that this city gets. And it is just awesome. I've been a long-time resident of Fort Worth. This is home for me. This is a home track, and it's great to see just everything thrive because NASCAR is in town. In fact, you look at where we sit here on this property, there used to be nothing but this racetrack. Now there's a mall across the street, a Buc-ee's with over 100 gas pumps there. You have all kinds of first-class restaurants, hotels, and everything else, all because this racetrack is here and was built in 1997.
The first time we came out here, it was like the prairie. You could envision a cowboy, riding a herd across here. And now there's no room for that at all. You might be able to graze a couple of head of cattle somewhere out there. But, yeah, it's pretty amazing what they built up around the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, if you come to Texas Motor Speedway and you want to see a Longhorn, just drive down Interstate 35 or drive up Interstate 35 or drive back and forth on State Highway 114. That's where the intersection is. You do not have to go far to see a Longhorn. In fact, if you head back towards Grapevine, there used to be some bison, that were there, grazing on the fields. And there's a lot of cowboy here in Fort Worth and Cowtown.
Now, I'd love to be able to have some bison out there grazing on a couple acres of my land. That'd be pretty cool. By the way, they have Longhorns in North Carolina. Some guy just down the road from where I live has some Longhorns. It's pretty cool.
No kidding. That is really cool. Well, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. Overall in practice, Carson Hocevar has been the fastest here today, followed by A.J. Allmendinger, Noah Gregson, Kyle Larson, and Michael McDowell rounding out the top 5. When we come back, we will qualify the NASCAR Cup Series for the Worth 400 here at Texas Motor Speedway.
This is the sound of a Toyota Cup car. And this is the sound of a Toyota Top Fuel dragster. This is the sound of a Toyota GR Supra deep in a drift. And this is the sound of Denny Hamlin celebrating after stuffing the competition. You in? Get up to speed at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Hi, it's PRN's Brad Gilley. Did you know you could take PRN with you anywhere? That's right. By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live race broadcast from anywhere. Make sure you don't miss a second of the action from the track. Download today for station listings and on-demand access to your favorite studio shows like Fast Talk, The Pit Reporters, or Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app. Download today, available in the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
In just a few moments, we'll have qualifying for the Worth 400 from here at Texas Motor Speedway. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Time to pull down on the handle and start rolling them here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
The green flag flies at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
We're about to contest the Coca-Cola 600. We're racing at Texas Motor Speedway.
Now Keselowski goes way up the racetrack.
Here comes Harrison Burton. He rockets to the lead.
Trouble. Car goes around. It's Chris Buescher.
Joey Logano battles to the outside. They come back to the start-finish line.
Bubba Wallace looks inside. And now here's Byron. Takes a quick left to block him. They head back to one.
Here goes Ross Chastain. He's going to the bottom of the racetrack.
Bubba goes up. Blaney hits the outside wall off of turn 2.
Can Christopher Bell do anything with him? He gets down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Briscoe dives to the bottom of the racetrack. Side by side. They get loose. They spin. Now Tyler Reddick does a 360. So does Briscoe.
Heading into turn number 7 as he wraps it around. The crowd is cheering for Daniel Suarez here on this final lap.
Allmendinger gets into Alex Bowman. Ross Chastain back out to the front for the final time.
This is PRN.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. Practice is over. Getting ready for Cup qualifying for the Worth 400. And Michael McDowell, you were one of the fastest in practice. You know, we didn't have any practice or qualifying yesterday. We did have the truck race last night, so there was a little bit of rubber on the track. How did the track feel out there to you?
Well, you know, it's really an advantage to be in that second group because you can watch that first group and see, see how much throttle commitment you have to have. I mean, you know, when you come to Texas Motor Speedway, it's going to be hammered down. And a cool morning like this morning it was. But Delaware Life Chevy was in a good spot. We still got a little bit of work to do, but felt like we had good speed and, long run speed was good too. So, yeah, we're good going into qualifying here. Hopefully get a big lap, close my eyes, and try not to hit anything and get ready for the race.
That's encouraging. Close your eyes. How difficult is it to find the balance between running good through 1 and 2 and running good through 3 and 4, or do you pick one end or the other?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it's all about. And right now I feel like we're strong in 3 and 4. We need a little bit more in 1 and 2. Each team and each driver probably prioritizes those corners a little bit different. And for the race, there's some philosophies that you just want to be good off the 2 to get position into 3. And there's some people that you want to be able to run wide open through 3 and 4 so nobody ever gets near you in 1 and 2. So it depends on, how you feel like it's going to best suit your race style.
All right, well, good luck in qualifying.
Thank you.
That's Michael McDowell. He was one of the fastest in practice in the number 2 session of practice. Let's go over to Doug Turnbull.
And chilling here in the number 4 team pit, the War Wagon, if you will, with Noah Gregson here. Noah's with Rusty Rush, is a sponsor for Rush Travel Centers there, just finishing up with TV. And Noah, first off, 3rd quickest on the board there. I hate to say we're surprised, but that is a high showing there for the front row team.
Yeah, no, our Rush Truck Center Ford Mustang is really fast, and we've had a lot of speed this year, just not the results we wanted, but, coming off a strong, 4th place finish last weekend, and Texas has always been a pretty good track for me. Went here in Xfinity, got a couple poles, so we learned a lot there in that last session in practice. Just got to take it to qualify and hopefully qualify in front. It's super hard to pass here. It's a long race, so there's opportunity to do green flag pit stops and some strategy, but we're racing with heavy hearts in memory of Jenny Rush this weekend, Rusty Rush, and the whole Rush gang are out here. So shout out to that crew, and we're going to try and put on one hell of a showing for them this weekend.
Yeah, and I see that sticker on the back of the car there. So I know it would be a big party in Texas, even with heavy hearts there, if you were able to get a good showing there. Thank you for the time, Noah.
Sir, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Thank you very much, Brett McMillan. Seeing the cars get pushed out to get ready to go out there and qualify. Again, these are single-car, single-lap runs. The fastest of the day will start on the pole. The slowest will start at the back of the field. There is no delineation between Group 1 and Group 2 when it comes to qualifying, other than that is the order in which they qualify, Mark. And, well, when you go out there and make that hot lap, you better make it count. And I think this is one of those with the 20 degrees of banking in 1 and 2 and the 24 degrees of banking in 3 and 4. You're going to flat-foot it in 3 and 4. You better try and get as close to that as you can in 1 and 2 as well.
If you get a good 1 and 2, you're going to feel really good going down the back straightaway because you can just hammer it through 3 and 4. So it is all about how cleanly, how fast you can get through this section of racetrack that's to our right as we look down on this beautiful 1.5-mile facility here in Fort Worth. You look at the drivers who have qualified the most times in the top 10 so far this year. William Byron, Austin Cindric, Joey Logano have done it 6 times. Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, they've done it 5 times apiece.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. And the first car that is going to go out and qualify, it's going to be Chad Fincham. The second car is going to be Brad Keselowski. And, my gosh, that team a couple years ago turned it around like no other. They went from being 21st and 24th in the standings with Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski to being 7th and 8th the next year. Last year, Brad Keselowski went to victory lane for the first time as an owner-driver at RFK when he won at Darlington. But this year, it has just been, again, a comedy of errors in so many different ways, and they're 32nd in the point standings, but Brad comes in as last year's runner-up finisher. A nice string of 5 consecutive top 10s here at Texas Motor Speedway, but they have to make something happen, Mark, and I think they're in a point where that hole is so deep, whatever they make happen needs to be a trip to victory lane.
I think at this point it is too deep a hole to kind of point your way out, although if you talk to Brad, he sort of believes he can still do that. But when you look at the history of the point standings, when you get about to this point, 9, 10, 11 races in, there's no more big swings. And you can only kind of inch your way up the point standings at this point. So we talked about early on in the season, you can't win the championship here. You can't make a playoff spot here early on, but you can dig a deep enough hole that you can't climb out. And some of these guys have put themselves certainly in that position. And I thought last week at Talladega was a microcosm of Keselowski's year. Fast car, something always is going to happen. And a lot of times it's not necessarily in his control or totally in his control, and he finds himself on the end of the hook out of a race.
Yeah, that's really tough. Here's another interesting part of our schedule. We now have 3 consecutive 1.5-mile super speedways on the schedule when it comes to points races. Tomorrow, the Worth 400 here at Texas Motor Speedway. Next weekend, the Motor Racing Network will have all the action from Kansas Speedway. Then we have the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. That is not a points-paying race. But after that, we go to Charlotte Motor Speedway for one of NASCAR's crown jewel events, the Coca-Cola 600. I'm really curious to see what happens after that Coca-Cola 600 to see who really had it happen in this stretch of 3 consecutive 1.5-mile speedways.
It'll certainly give us a great indication not only what we may see towards the end of the year, because we've got some 1.5-mile tracks obviously in the playoff. And, again, we're at that time of the year where the point standings are just not going to take these wild swings. So if somebody has some ideas about trying to point their way in, and at this point we have only, 6 winners. So there's a strong likelihood we're going to have a few drivers pointing their way in, and so they're going to be vying for those spots down there. So I think the time to make a move is right now. If you're out of it and you're behind, you better start making up the ground. You don't have any mulligans left.
If you're A.J. Allmendinger on the bubble right now, you need to be consistent. You need to try and move up. You cannot rely on that bubble being where you sit in the standings. If you're Brad Keselowski, you better win and do something big. Qualifying has started. Chad Fincham is the first one on the racetrack. We will go down to pit road with Brett McMillan.
Here with Kyle Busch. Talking about he just celebrated a milestone birthday, 40. How did we get there? We've known you since you were a teenager. That makes me feel old.
No kidding. Tell me about it. At least 40 is just a number, you know. I still feel like 33, 32 maybe, but it is what it is. But here we are today here in Texas. So got a pretty good 711 Chevrolet. Felt good there in practice. We made some tweaks on it to try to improve it, make it faster. So hopefully we can go out here, get a good qualifying effort in, and get a good top 10 starting spot.
All right, do you prefer setting it up for 1 and 2 or 3 and 4?
Yes. You got got to set up for both, right? But you definitely got to be as fast as you can possibly be down there in 3 and 4 because that's the fast end. And then you got to be sure to work on it down in 1 and 2 to get there faster.
All right, well, happy belated birthday. Good qualified run.
Thanks.
That's Kyle Busch. Let's go to Doug Turnbull.
And one right below him on the grid here, Eric Jones. As Chad Fitchett passes by, Eric, you're making your 300th Cup start on Sunday. I remember watching you as a teenager race when I announced in Georgia. My goodness, where did the time go?
Yeah, it went fast, I guess, but it's fun just to be around that long, and, you know, I think there's a lot of different ways to judge your Cup career, and longevity is definitely a good one to look at it. So, yeah, I hope it's just a good run for 300, and we can go out and finish this thing off. But the Advent Camry seems good. It's got some speed, and hopefully we can start up front.
You've got an appearance coming up this week in Atlanta that has to do with both the race and your foundation. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to go down there, do a couple readings for an elementary school on Wednesday morning, so looking forward to that. And Advent Health's always been a big help with all the reading initiatives we do at the Eric Jones Foundation. So, yeah, it'll be fun to get down there, see some kids. We did one actually yesterday here in Texas as well, and they're always a good time hearing the questions the kids come up with.
And part of it is leaving your legacy, and that's what Eric Jones is trying to do with his foundation as he drives for Legacy Motor Club.
Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you very much, Brett McMillan. Brad Keselowski, of the 2 cars that have gone out, is the fastest. His speed, 188.574. About 2 miles per hour off the pace that Carson Hocevar set in practice. But again, it continues to warm here. The track continues to change. Not sure if we'll see faster speeds or if maybe it's slowed down a little bit, Mark.
Well, when we get to Ryan Preece, Joey Logano here very shortly, they're scheduled to come out. And once we get to those 2 cars, we'll find out whether Keselowski's speed was competitive or not.
Yeah, he was 6th quick in his group, in Group 1. John Hunter Nemechek is another one of those that's going to go out here shortly. He was 5th quick when Group 1 went out and practiced. Cody Ware just went out. He's 2nd quick over Chad Fincham, just underneath Brad Keselowski as well. And out on the speedway is Jesse Love, who is running the Beard Motorsports number 62 here this weekend. And Jesse Love, certainly a great budding career, already been to victory lane in the Xfinity Series this year, and had a little bit of a rough Talladega in some ways, had a good Talladega in other ways, but certainly would like to put that week behind him and make some big things happen here at Texas, not only in the Cup race, but also in the Xfinity Andy's Frozen Custard 300 coming up here at 1:30 Eastern.
At 20 years of age, should make a serious run at the Xfinity Series Championship this year, so that young man certainly has a future superstar written all over him. And now on the racetrack, Ryan Preece. He'll be followed by Joey Logano, so we'll find out, again, I think after these 2 cars, just how good Keselowski's run was.
Yeah, Ryan Preece has that Kroger paint scheme with Sara Lee with the cheese as well on it, and we talked about the grilled cheese sandwich earlier. Maybe we could go find one of those between practice and qualifying in the Xfinity race. We'll have to see. But Jesse Love went 2nd quick behind Brad Keselowski. Here comes Ryan Preece off of turn number 4. Looks like he has some good speed in that RFK number 60, and let's see what he does versus his teammate. He is not as fast as Brad Keselowski, just a tick slower, 0.4 of a mile slower than Brad Keselowski. Preece 2nd quick right now.
So here is now Joey Logano. He's got the AAA Texas paint scheme on that race car, so much different. It goes from bright yellow to white and a little red, white, and blue instance there. Let's go to Doug Turnbull.
Here on the grid is a lot of drivers are either strapping into their race cars or still debriefing with their teams. Zane Smith is one of the few in the wild here. Zane, what was practice like for you, and what do you think you need to do to get up the grid in qualifying?
Yeah, I felt pretty good about our car. You know, we showed some great speed. So always excited to be here in Texas with Speedy Cash on board. Big racetrack for them, and man, one of my first Cup races, or first mile and a half, I feel so, in a Cup car. But regardless, excited for qualifying here, and I feel we know the direction we need to go in for tomorrow. So looking forward to it.
For sure. You saw that giant trophy for the truck race last night. Did you do any wrist curls with that thing?
I did see it, and yeah, the Speedy Cash 250 was an exciting one. So man, just appreciate all their support and all they do for us. But yeah, would love to see that trophy on Sunday.
Won't be able to miss that Speedy Cash Ford. It is bright green there for Zane Smith.
All right, thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Joey Logano has gone to the top of the chart, 189.175, completing his lap now. Shane Van Gisbergen, of the 7 cars that have gone out, he is going to be number 6, just ahead of Chad Fincham. So right now it's Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Preece. We have a couple more to go here with John Hunter Nemechek and Ryan Blaney. John Hunter Nemechek is on the track with his Toyota Camry XSE. Top 5 in Group 1 earlier, Mark.
So let's see if he can back that up here in qualifying. He hustles down the back straightaway now, right up against the wall. Take a dive to the bottom of the racetrack, flat out. John Hunter Nemechek trying to unseat Joey Logano from the number 1 spot currently here in qualifying at Texas.
All right, former Xfinity winner here at Texas, John Hunter, goes up to second quick behind Joey Logano, 189.115 miles per hour. Now taking his warm-up lap. Boy, he had a bad Talladega. 4 DNFs this year, still top 10 in the Cup point standings on the strength of so many points earned during the first 2 stages of a lot of races this year. It is Ryan Blaney. He takes that highlighter yellow car right down to the bottom of the racetrack, sweeps up to the outside retaining wall on the back straightaway. Let's see what Ryan Blaney can do in that Team Penske number 12, Mark.
So Blaney now digging hard in turns 3 and 4. Again, on top of the board currently is his teammate Joey Logano. Here is Blaney across the stripe. Blaney will go to number 1, 189.394. Barely beats Logano. Difference there, just about 0.03 of a second.
Wow, so right now it's Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, John Hunter Nemechek, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece. Your top 5 as qualifying will continue for the Worth 400 here at Texas Motor Speedway.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's not about the cars, the speed, the action. It's not about the party or the long weekend. It's about them. The ones that gave everything. This Memorial Day weekend, we honor the fallen at America's Home for Racing. The 66th running of the Coca-Cola 600.
Coming up next, a couple of drivers who call Texas Motor Speedway their home track. Chris Buescher and Christopher Bell as qualifying continues. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, it's PRN's Brad Gilley. Did you know you could take PRN with you anywhere? That's right. By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live race broadcast from anywhere. Make sure you don't miss a second of the action from the track. Download today for station listings and on-demand access to your favorite studio shows like Fast Talk, The Pit Reporters, or Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app. Available in the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
Hey, I'm Corley Joy for Speedway Children's Charities. The mission for Speedway Children's Charities has remained true since its founding almost 40 years ago. To care for children in educational, financial, social, and medical needs in order to help them lead happy and productive lives. So many children have benefited from our group in the past, but we need your help now more than ever. There's so much we can do when we all join together, so let's start today. Visit speedwaycharities.org to learn more. I thank you in advance for your help.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. Chris Buescher out on the track right now, a man who has collected many trophies here from Texas, but that goes back to his Bandolero and Legends car days when he was running on both the 5th mile Little Texas Motor Speedway and the quarter mile here on the front straightaway. He takes his 5th third bank Down deep into turn number 1, looking to make some things happen after an early exit last week at Talladega, Mark.
Here during the season, Buescher to this point has the 6th best average finish among the Cup drivers. William Byron, Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, the top 3. Logano 4th, Bubba Wallace 5th. Buescher again at 6, and Denny Hamlin at 7. Here is Buescher down to cross the stripe. And Buescher is going to the top.
Wow.
First guy to crack 190, does it a big way. 190.752 miles per hour, 28.309 as Buescher clocks in with a very fast lap.
That was a fast lap. The car that just went underneath us, that is Christopher Bell with the Interstate Batteries Toyota colors this week. Last week it was Christopher Bell and Chris Buescher in the same incident on a restart after the first caution. Bell was on the outside getting pushed by teammate Denny Hamlin. Hamlin described it like, hey, I'm used to being able to push that far on a restart out of the corner. Well, it got pushed a little too far. Christopher Bell and Chris Buescher, both the lead cars in both lines, ended up in the inside retaining wall. But now Christopher Bell goes out, and he is second quick, also over 190 miles per hour, Mark.
190.436 for Christopher Bell. So it is Chris Buescher, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, John Hunter Nemechek, Keselowski falling from 1st down to 6th. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
All right, here with Ryan Blaney. You got a fast car. You've had fast cars all year long, and I know drivers always say, as long as I got a fast car, I know I'm okay. But have you thought about going to see a witch doctor or getting out of bed on a different side or something to change your luck?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to try something. It's been a rough moments of the year, more moments than I'd like. But overall, hopefully we can just keep doing the things we've been doing as a group and trying to bring fast cars and see if it straightens out.
You know, you've been good here in Texas in the past. I know confidence is never a problem for you as far as coming to a track like this before. Where do you find the balance here in Texas?
Yeah, just depending on, what do you think you're like, unloading and through practice. And we're going to probably start near the back. Unfortunately, our qualifying run wasn't very good, but hopefully we can find a way to get track position. Can't pass here, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, you're a Star Wars guy. Tomorrow is 5th 4. So what do you got planned?
Racing.
He's got racing planned. He didn't say if it was jet scooters or anything, so we'll see what he's got planned.
All right, thank you, Brett. May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day here. Looking forward to that.
I guess he should just picture an Ewok or something chasing him, or Darth Vader. Maybe that'll make him go faster.
Something needs to happen. Right now, Ryan Blaney is 5th on the speed chart. Justin Haley went out. He moved up to 2nd quick behind Chris Buescher. Riley Herbst took his Toyota to 4th quick behind Buescher, Justin Haley, and Christopher Bell is qualifying for the Worth 400. Continues here at Texas Motor Speedway. And cars just continuing out here on the racetrack. Ty Dillon, who, again, Kaulig Racing, we talked about it earlier, they've had a resurgence this year. Ty Dillon has been a part of the conversation in the top 15, I would say, in a lot of races this year, and that's way higher than what we've seen throughout his career.
Dillon 5th fast here in qualifying, so he will knock down John Hunter Nemechek, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece, Jesse Love another spot. So a good run for Ty Dillon. As you said, it's a resurgence not only for Kaulig Racing, but with Ty Dillon. And I had a chance to talk to Ty before the season started. Matter of fact, just standing on pit road at Bowman Gray Stadium, talked about the fact that he's with a race team that, believes in him 100%, giving him 100%, thinks that'll make a difference.
The Worth Ford is out on the track right now. Josh Berry carrying the race sponsor. He will take the checkered flag, and he will go to the top. 191.266 miles per hour for our Las Vegas winner, Josh Berry, in the Worth Ford. Let's go back down to pit road and Brett McMillan.
Here with Chris Buescher, who was out at the sky until Josh Berry went out there. But I tell you, as a Texas guy, I know you would love to have a big weekend here, and you could use a big weekend, couldn't you?
Yeah, certainly. Good fortune would go a long way, but you know what? That's we know we're digging out of a hole after Talladega, and going out that early in Group 1 was going to be a detriment, and this team stepped up. So got a really fast 5th, 3rd bank Mustang here. 5th, 3rd day, so it's appropriate for us to have a good day. I feel like they've got a little bit of luck on our side because of that, but you know what, overall, I'm really happy with the race car after practice, too. So to be able to put a lap that's going to be respectable for sure, not a full lap, but very respectable to go out as early as we did, I'm pretty happy with that.
All right, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's Chris Buescher.
Thank you very much, Brett. Kyle Busch just went out. Not very fast for that 7-Eleven car. 8th quick so far, Mark, among the 16 cars who have gone out to qualify.
He is going to be disappointed with that speed, no question about it. But, you know, you look at Josh Berry, that lap, 191 plus, that is a lap. Whether you go early or late, that is a lap.
Yeah, for sure. Eric Jones just took the checkered flag. He goes up to 3rd quick as he gets set for his 300 start in his Toyota, 190.584, Mark.
When you look at the ghost car on TV, Josh Berry just leaves everybody in turns 1 and 2. I mean, just absolutely leads 2 or 3 car lengths. The last 3 or 4 cars that we look at the ghost car, looking at it again as Allmendinger goes in there, and Allmendinger hanging with the ghost car as they exit turn number 2, but Berry, a lot of speed right there, 1 and 2.
Allmendinger was the fastest of the Group 1 cars earlier, top 5 fastest overall in practice. He brings his Kaulig Racing number 16 to the start-finish line for A.J. Allmendinger as he takes the checkered flag. 2nd quick behind Josh Berry, little faster than his practice speed, 190.975 miles per hour as we go back down to pit road and Doug Turnbull.
And the guy with the flashiest driver's suit here, because it looks like a cowboy outfit, that's Carson Hocevar, who's, I believe, was fastest in practice there. And the guy that you beat on the charts just went on the track, A.J. Allmendinger. More speed for that 77. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel good about our car. You know, this place seems to suit my style, whatever. We've been fast in trucks when I've been here and now cup cars. So it's been fun to unload with speed and have a place like this that we can really build on. And, this ride to Dente Chevy Chili's machine is faster now. So it's great to be top of the board in practice, but it'll pay dividends if we can do that again in qualifying.
Did you learn anything for the truck race last night, or was that more of a fun Friday activity there?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely learn a little bit. I mean, you just commit so much throttle here that it definitely helps, and being able to unload the fastest, I think, adds value and reminds Spire that it's a big deal or a big help when I get to be in these trucks. And I don't think it's not a coincidence to be able to unload the fastest and, you know, be the first time I've been in a truck in 2 years.
There you go, sending a message to management. Put me in some more races. Carson Hocevar looking for speed.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Zane Smith just went out. He goes 4th quick. So right now, half of the cars have qualified for the Worth 400. Josh Berry the fastest, followed by A.J. Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, Zane Smith, and Eric Jones. All of those cars over 190 miles per hour.
Whether your engine runs daily or only when you need it, Z-Max Micro Lubricant is the force you need against carbon buildup that can damage your engine. Combustion causes carbon and other harmful deposits to build up in your engine, fuel system, and transmission. And carbon is like sandpaper rubbing against your engine's internal parts. You don't want that. You want Z-Max Micro Lubricant. It soaks into metal and keeps your vehicle running at peak performance. Find out more at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter. Protect your engine to the max with Z-Max.
Hey folks, it's Doug Rice. Did you know you can take PRN with you anywhere? By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live races just about any place on the planet, and you will not miss a second of the action. Plus, you can hear our shows like the fantastic editions of Fast Talk, plus Brett McMillan on the Pit Reporters and Mark Darrow with Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information right at your fingertips. The PRN mobile app, available at the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
Halfway through qualifying for the Worth 400. When we come back, Todd Gilliland, Cole Custer, Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain, and Denny Hamlin. From Texas Motor Speedway, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
A NASCAR memory with Doug Rice and Kyle Petty.
They established the Hall of Fame. The first 2 people that get in, besides your dad, is Bill France Sr. and Bill Jr. Your time behind the wheel overlapped with Bill Jr., didn't
Yes,
it?
for sure. For sure. I was called to the truck many times while Bill Jr. was in there. But you know what I remember about Bill Jr. as much as anything was being a kid and him sitting and talking to my dad or talking to my granddad. And Bill Sr. would be in some of those conversations, but you'd sit down at the racetrack and they would talk about where the sport was and where the sport was going. Bill was never satisfied with where the sport was. And that is the one thing that I came to admire about him. At the time, I didn't. At the time, I didn't appreciate it as much. But, you know, I'll never forget we were doing some stuff, and I was driving for Felix, and I was called to the truck, and I was reminded gently by Bill France Jr. that this was his sport. And if I would like to participate in his sport, that I needed to kind of change my ways. And I changed my ways so that I could participate in his sport.
Here live on PRN with qualifying for the Cup Series at Texas Motor Speedway. Todd Gilliland is on the track right now. Fellow Ford driver is just chilling out by his car, maybe with the serenity after a victory. Austin Cindric. Austin, I'm not going to ask about Penske team radio communications or the racing of the track at Dega or even practice. I want to ask you about the reaction at the start-finish line when you were outside the car, giving a jab to Regan Smith there. You're so calm and composed. And that emotion just came out. I think a lot of people don't realize that about you. So explain the weight off your shoulders there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not the weight, but I mean, it's all the hard work. I mean, and so satisfying to be able to get that all done. You know, for everybody on the team. I mean, I think it's rare you can chalk up a speedway win as a total team win, but that really was. And just happy for everybody. Obviously happy to get the win. I mean, this is what you work so hard for every week. And if you're not able to be happy about that, I don't know what we're doing here. So I'm really excited about it, but at the same time, back to work.
Well, for sure. And then here in Texas, having that great finish means you had a good draw for practice and qualifying. Does it make much of a difference from Group A to Group B?
I don't think it hurts. I mean, it's not going to heat up too much in between, you know, the start of the session to now. So when we go out here at the end, so I think if anything, it's slightly in our favor. But man, the times are so close right now, and they will be with 3 and 4 being wide open already. So putting a lot of pressure on turn 1 and 2 and nailing my marks.
Got the familiar discount tire colors here on Austin Cindric's Ford.
So Cindric has qualified outside pole on 2 occasions this year at Daytona and Atlanta, trying to get that pole position out of the way.
Yeah, hey, look, he got the win out of the way, and that was certainly the most important, but I'm sure they would love to have a pole. That'd be a nice little flex coming off of a win to be the fastest in qualifying. Ty Gibbs just took his Toyota to the top of the speed chart. Him, 191.293 over Josh Berry, who's 191.266. So for Ty Gibbs, a great qualifying effort on the racetrack right now is Ross Chastain. Black and purple is the paint scheme on his car, with Tootsie's Orchid Lounge right there on Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. And Ross Chastain takes his car down the back straightaway. He wasn't good in practice. You mentioned earlier, Mark, he struggled in qualifying. Let's see what he can do here at Texas.
22.8 his average starting position this year, so he always races better than he qualifies. Here's Chastain across the stripe, and he is not going to like that at all. 17th. Right now in the running order. On top, Ty Gibbs, Josh Berry, A.J. Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, Zane Smith. That's our top 5. 6 to 10, Eric Jones, Justin Haley, Christopher Bell, Cole Custer, and Riley Herbst.
Denny Hamlin now carrying flow around the racetrack with his progressive Toyota, that number 11, a 3-time winner here at Texas Motor Speedway, has already been to victory lane twice in 2025 and will love to grab some more playoffs bonus points here this weekend. Hamlin drops his car all the way down in turns 3 and 4 to the white line of the racetrack, stays matted in the gas, and now he brings his car across the start-finish line for Denny Hamlin. Up to third quick, 191.164 miles per hour. Now the top 3 over 191 with Ty Gibbs leading the way over Josh Berry and Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin leads all the active drivers in pole positions with 43, and it's a little bit of a drop-off after that to Kyle Busch's 34 and Joey Logano's 31.
Right now on the racetrack, a driver who's had success here at Texas Motor Speedway with some great top 10 finishes. That was with his old team at Stewart-Haas Racing. Now he's in a Toyota with Joe Gibbs Racing, and we will see if Chase Briscoe can maybe better his teammate Ty Gibbs, who is currently on the provisional pole. Briscoe brings it out of turn number 4 right now. Bass Pro Shops on the number 19 Toyota this weekend, and for Chase Briscoe, not even in the top 10, Mark.
He is 12th fastest at this particular point, and with the ghost car, couldn't even keep up to his teammate Ty Gibbs at all. Denny Hamlin was able to kind of keep him in view. On the racetrack now, a former Texas winner, Austin Dillon.
Let's go down to Doug Turnbull.
And Denny Hamlin just finishing that qualifying lap there. We'll hear what he has to say later, maybe when he gets out of the car, but he was just third quickest. He just told Chris Gabehart and the crew, though, shoot, I had more to give. Third quick is pretty good, guys, especially more than halfway through qualifying, but Denny Hamlin, that Progressive Toyota, obviously wanted some more.
They'll tuck that car in the garage for the night as Denny Hamlin has just brought it back there. And Austin Dillon comes across the stripe. How fast is he, Mark?
Austin Dillon is 10th quickest, so that is a decent run for him. And you look at where his teammate Kyle Busch 16th. So Austin Dillon has out-qualified Kyle here at Texas.
Kubota colors on the car for Daniel Suarez. It is Kubota orange for his number 99. In fact, the whole car is Kubota orange with some white graphics on it. Looks like a really nice-looking race car. Good-looking race car. Is it a fast race car? His teammate Ross Chastain. Now, Chastain does struggle in qualifying. He's 20th quick. Shane Van Gisbergen, the other Trackhouse driver, he struggled in qualifying as well. Van Gisbergen is 25th. Let's see what Daniel Suarez can do. A lot of Daniel's amigos here at Texas Motor Speedway. Where does he wind up?
They're a little bit sad right now. He is 16th after struggling with a vibration during practice. Picked it up just a bit, but not enough.
All right, the one car we will definitely not miss here at Texas. It is bright orange, fades back to yellow. It is the Sunny D car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's in 1 and 2 right now, Mark.
He's working his way onto the backstretch. Again, Ty Gibbs is currently on top. His time, 28.229. The speed, 191.293, and that blows out of the water what Kyle Larson ran a year ago to grab the pole position here at Texas.
All right, here comes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that Sunny D car, and he takes the checkered flag for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. A rough effort for him. He is 24th out of the cars that have gone so far. When we come back here at Texas Motor Speedway, the final cars, and we will know who the pole winner is for the Worth 400.
This is Kyle Petty for Echo Park Automotive, and I'm here to tell you why you should shop Echo Park before you buy a car, truck, or SUV. Over half of inventory at Echo Park is priced below $25,000. And car for car, truck for truck, Echo Park Automotive's pricing is $3,000 less than the competition. Maybe that's why Echo Park has over 95,000 five-star reviews. Echo Park Automotive is built to make sure you drive away happy. It's even in their name. Echo Park Automotive. Every car, happy owner. The official used car dealer of Speedway Motorsports.
The speed, the drama, the only NASCAR race in California. The Toyota Save Mart 350 NASCAR weekend rolls into Sonoma Raceway July 11th through 13th. 3 days of high-speed thrills, edge-of-your-seat action, and family fun in the heart of wine country. Bring the whole family. Kids tickets start at just $10. Don't miss NASCAR's biggest stars battling for victory. Get your tickets now at SonomaRaceway.com. This is NASCAR. This is California. This is Sonoma.
Only 10 cars left to qualify for the Worth 400 here at Texas Motor Speedway. When we come back, you will hear that, and we'll find out who the pole winner will be for tomorrow. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Here's Christopher Bell.
My Toyota Camry TRD race car isn't cheap to build and prepare. I have a pit crew that maintains and fixes my equipment. I have a spotter high above the track watching my back, talking me through turns and potential dangers on the track. I physically train to handle the stress of driving. And I have software helping my crew chief and engineers make the right strategy calls. And with all this, I never take my eyes off the road, and neither should you. One distraction can change everything in one instant.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. Michael McDowell, the first of the final 10 cars left to qualify, and he and his crew chief Travis Peterson definitely bring fast cars on Saturday. The question is, how fast is their car on this Saturday? Mark, he just took the green flag, making his way around the racetrack.
So, again, he's trying to beat Ty Gibbs, who has set a blistering lap here under very hot conditions at Texas Motor Speedway. Hocevar, who had a strong run last night, undone by a bad battery. They could never keep that car juiced up that truck rather, last night all juiced up. So here is Hocevar quick in practice, the quickest in qualifying, 191.333. He takes only 28.223 seconds to circle this 1.5-mile track.
And that's Michael McDowell now on the provisional pole here at Texas Motor Speedway. Noah Gragson making his way around the track as he takes the green flag. And again, Travis Peterson and Michael McDowell both moved over from Front Row Motorsports to Spire together. Travis Peterson can definitely build fast race cars as a team. They went to Victory Lane a couple of years ago on the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, looking for another big win. But boy, that certainly helps for them. Mark, the worst they're going to start is going to be in the back of the top 10. They might even start on the pole.
Yeah. Here again is Noah Gragson on the racetrack. Gragson is going to
11th quick,
not barely make the top 10. So didn't mean to put Michael McDowell or Carson Hocevar in McDowell's car.
That's right. They're teammates. They both have 7s on their car. And now on the track, a former winner here at Texas Motor Speedway. Tyler Reddick is taking his 2311 Racing Toyota on the track, and we'll see if he can make some things happen. Reddick has been very fast. 1.5 miles have really been his strong suit, and we'll see what he can do with this car here today. That Toyota dips it down into turn number 3 again. The higher banking in 3 and 4. In qualifying, they should be able to flat-foot it all the way around, so he's standing on the gas as hard as he can as he takes the checkered flag. What do we have for Reddick, Mark?
Tyler Reddick is going to be 11th, so he, too, just below the top 10.
Definitely wanted more speed out of that. All right, so here is Carson Hocevar now.
Yeah, here we go.
And, again, he was fastest in practice earlier. We'll see if he can unseat teammate Michael McDowell for that top spot when it comes to qualifying. By the way, the other Spire driver, Justin Haley, currently 9th on the speedway. So here we have another week. We saw this at Bristol as well, Mark. Another week where right now all of the Spire cars are running within the top 10. Haley could get booted out of that with the amount of cars we have left. But let's see what Carson Hocevar does. Here he comes, Mark.
I don't believe, is he going to do it? Yes, he does. Hocevar, 191.659. So Hocevar is finally on top for real.
Yeah, if you're Spire, you're pretty happy about this one for sure. And I'm sure this could go a long way to Carson Hocevar maybe getting some more truck rides in that Spire team also. Bubba Wallace now has his Toyota out there, Mark.
Shouldn't be a surprise with Spire because McDowell was on the pole at Las Vegas. So they've been quick on the 1.5-mile racetracks. You talked about Tyler Reddick, 2311 Racing, also very quick on the 1.5-mile tracks. And speaking of that, again, Bubba Wallace taking the checkered flag after completing his run. Bubba will make the top 10 at number 6.
Yeah, they've seen a lot of speed so far this season for Bubba Wallace, and he's really done a good job of making good decisions on the racetrack as well. Hendrick Motorsports on the track. Alex Bowman takes his Ally, number 48, down into turn number 1. And for Alex Bowman, the first of 4 Hendrick drivers yet to qualify among our last 5 drivers total. He puts his car down the back straightaway, and his crew chief, Blake Harris, is actually a local from Maypearl, Texas, south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And Blake Harris definitely can put together very fast race cars.
No doubt about it. They've already won 2 pole positions this year at Homestead and Bristol. Will it be 3? Answer is no. Bowman at number 8.
All right, so Alex Bowman goes 8th. We'll see if he can stay in the top 10. He still has all 3 of his teammates plus Austin Cindric to go. On the track right now, one of Bowman's teammates, a special gold paint scheme as Napa celebrates 100 years of service this weekend. And this is actually one of 3 Napa gold paint schemes that are on the track. Chase Elliott, the defending winner. Last night, Daniel Hemrick was the runner-up finisher in the Craftsman Truck Series race. And tonight at the dirt track, Brad Sweet will have his winged 410 sprint car with the Napa gold paint scheme in the high limit race. So here comes the Napa number 9 of Chase Elliott off of turn number 4. Defending winner, does he have speed in qualifying?
And Elliott is going to be way down the list. 26th for Chase Elliott. Looked like he chased the car out of turn 4 a little bit loose. Elliott way down the running order here at Texas.
Yeah, that was a big buildup for a 26th qualifying effort for him. But it looks like Alex Bowman, as a result, still has a chance to stay in the top 10. That is to be determined by Austin Cindric on the track right now, William Byron, and Kyle Larson. Carson Hocevar, Michael McDowell, still the top 2. Last week's Talladega winner, looking to make a statement here, Mark. Can Austin Cindric actually show the field this is not just a super speedway thing? He's won an Xfinity race here before.
Currently, Josh Berry has the fastest Ford. Austin Cindric now across the stripe. Cindric goes to number 2 at 191.523. So it's Hocevar Cindric, our current front row.
That shows a lot of strength right there for sure for Austin Cindric. William Byron now, your points leader in the NASCAR Cup Series. He took the green flag. He is making his hot lap. And again, William Byron has the ability to find speed anywhere at any racetrack. He won his second career Truck Series race here at Texas, has been a winner in the Cup Series, has been very successful, and has had a successful season, albeit with just one trip to victory lane. It was a pretty big one, though, to start the year.
It absolutely was, winning, of course, the Daytona 500 again. He's had 2 pole positions already this season at Phoenix and Darlington. Will he make it 3? Barely. The answer is no. He is second quick at 191.564.
All right, Kyle Larson. This is the first of 3 race car events on his Saturday here at Texas Motor Speedway. He takes the green flag in the Valvoline number 5 Cup car coming up 1:30 Eastern time. Kyle Larson subbing for Connor Zilic in the number 88 for Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity race. And tonight he will be in his winged 410 sprint car at the dirt track with the high limit racing series. So Larson would love to start the day in a big way. Looks like he's got a lot of speed coming off of turn 4, but looks can be deceiving, Mark.
He does have a fast lap. I don't think it's quick enough to beat Hocevar, and the answer, I was right, finally today. 4th quick for Kyle Larson. Carson Hocevar has captured the pole position for the Worth 400 for the 2nd week in a row. We have a first-time pole winner on the Cup Series. Zane Smith a week ago. This week, it's Carson Hocevar.
You know, Hocevar, part of his uniform, he told us at the beginning of the season he wanted a black cowboy hat. Last week, he actually still had the light-colored one. He gets a black one for Texas, and maybe that is what exactly made the difference. We'll hear from Carson Hocevar coming up here momentarily. William Byron will start on the outside pole. Once we hear from them, we'll give you a rundown of the field. Want to remind you that we will be back at 1:30 Eastern time. Ross Chastain will join Mark Garrow and myself in the booth for the broadcast of the Andy's Frozen Custard 300. We'll have Brett McMillan and Doug Turnbull on pit road. Rob Albright and Pat Patterson will help cover the action from the turns. Last year's Andy's Frozen Custard 300, not the closest finish in NASCAR history because that ended up happening a couple weeks later at Kansas, but the second with Sam Mayer just edging out Ryan Sieg at the start-finish line, and we'll see what happens in this one here this afternoon, Mark.
Again, looking forward to a great race. We had one last night, and we've got 2 more to go here at Texas Motor Speedway. And again, it is interesting to see that 2 weeks in a row, you know, Talladega is a lot about the team and the car. And the driver still has something to do. He's got to get the car up to speed, has to hold a pretty wheel, keep it smooth. But when you come to Texas and somebody jumps up and wins their first career pole position, that's a little bit more surprising.
Yeah, that is a little bit more surprising. So we'll hear from Carson Hocevar coming up here momentarily. A very happy driver. His first career NASCAR National Series win, 2 years ago at Texas in the Craftsman Truck Series, and his career has skyrocketed since then. Now a sophomore driver in the Cup Series, and at the same track where he won his first truck race, he wins his first Cup pole. Let's go down to Doug Turnbull.
And as you've heard, it's a first win at Texas 2 years ago in trucks for Carson Hocevar. Now first career Cup Series pole, Carson. Several drivers got on their radios and said, man, I left something out of the track. I could have given you some more. What gave you the confidence to push it to the floorboard here?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I came off a 2, and I thought I was the biggest wuss of all time because I felt like I could get more, but I think that just tells you how good this race car is and told me how good this race car was when I came off a 4 and they told me lap time. And it felt good, but at the same time, when it feels good, it almost feels slow at times. So, yeah, super, super big for Spire Motorsports to get 2 poles, but, really thankful to get the first one here, especially Texas, a place where it's super important. We need points, if we could hopefully stay up front all day and determine our fate. But this pit road's really tricky with how big track position it is, and having that number 1 pit stall is going to be bigger than I think any other racetrack.
That's going to be big, too. And Carson Hocevar is going to lead them to green here from the first position for the first time in his career.
You talked about all the things he's done since he came onto the scene. I saw him in a late model race at Jennerstown Speedway when he was, 17 years old. So Carson Hocevar, a long way from the Motor Mountain Classic up there in Jennerstown years ago.
Well, let's tell you how they're going to line up tomorrow for the Worth 400. The front row will be Carson Hocevar and William Byron. The second row, Austin Cindric and Kyle Larson. Starting 5th will be Michael McDowell. Ty Gibbs, the top Toyota, starting 6th. Josh Berry and the Worth Ford will start 7th. 8th will be Denny Hamlin with his Progressive Toyota. Bubba Wallace starts 9th. A.J. Allmendinger 10th.
Alex Bowman will go off 11th, 12th Chris Buescher, Zane Smith 13th, 14th Eric Jones, Justin Haley 15th, Christopher Bell 16th, Tyler Reddick in the 17th position, Noah Gregson outside of row number 9 in 18th, 19th Austin Dillon, 20th Cole Custer.
Riley Herbst rolls off 21st tomorrow. 22nd will be Chase Briscoe. 23rd Ty Dillon, Ryan Blaney 24th. 25th will be Daniel Suarez, Kyle Busch 26th, 27th Joey Logano, John Hunter Nemechek 28th, 29th Chase Elliott, defending winner, and 30th Brad Keselowski.
He's about to join us. I'm not sure what kind of mood Ross Chastain is going to be in after qualifying 31st. Todd Gilliland 32nd. 33rd, Ryan Preece. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 34th. Jesse Love 35th. 36th, Cody Ware. Shane Van Gisbergen 37th. And Chad Fincham 38th.
And that's how they'll line up for the Worth 400. Coming up, we'll be back on the air just over 30 minutes from now. Ross Chastain will join Mark and I in the booth for the broadcast of the Andes Frozen Custard 300. Congratulations to Carson Hocevar on winning his first career pole in the NASCAR Cup Series. We've got more here from Texas.
Qualifying from Texas Motor Speedway has been an exclusive presentation of PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Racing Network. This is PRN, the Performance 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 Racing Network.
This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.